Alright, you're still watching what's popping on Lunar Lifestyle TV. I'm joined by Dixon Mumba, who is joining me from Lusaka. He is one of Zambia's best actors and he has featured in a number of Zambian movies. Some of them is Zuza and Service to Heart. Welcome to what's popping, Dixon, and just give us an insight on how it all started. How did you find yourself in film? How did you decide to be an actor?
Thank you very much for having me on your program. So, how it all started. I started acting when I was 14 years old. I remember I grew up at a time when every house you went to in my neighborhood, they were watching a Nigerian movie. And Nigerian films were taking over. You would go to this house and you would find them watching drama, like actors like Olu Jacobs and Petit Doche, Sam Dede Chibi, Justice Eziri, those type of actors. And then you would go to, another house and you would find them watching love stories, romantic stories, the likes of Ramsey Noah and the young guys, Nonso Diobi and Mike Azurunye and stuff like that. Even comedy at the time was very huge. You would find Zambians watching John Okafor, the likes of Ikem Owo and that stuff. But there's this one particular actor that I watched from Nigeria that made me want to be an actor. I don't know, but there was just something about him, the realism in his performance, and it really moved me to a point where I said, this is what I want to do with my life. And this person was Olu Jacobs. I saw this man on screen. I think it was a short film made in 1998. I think it was by Mnet. And actually, his wife was also in the movie, Joke Silva. I saw that actor in there. I was like, man, this is really good. And I would want to be an actor and just try out to do what this man does. And that is how this whole journey began. And I've never looked back ever since. I've looked around, trying to be a better actor. And wanting to be a better actor has made me explore different films from different parts of the world. And it has been an amazing journey. So that's how it began.
All right, you were also in one of Zambia's best production, that is Zuza. Just give us an insight on how it was. How was the experience working on that particular movie?
Zuza was an amazing film to be part of. I remember when I was starting out, wanting to build a dream and wanting to be an actor. I'd seen a Zambian film called Red Bag. And when I finished watching that film, I went to the credits and I wanted to see who directed this film. And when I checked the list and I found where it was written director and the name Frank Sibuku was there. And that time, I said to myself, I need to find a way on how I can work with this amazing director by the name of Frank Sibuku. So when he called me that he had this amazing character that he wanted me to play in his film, Zuza, I was so very happy. I was so excited. I went on set and he's a very, very, very good man. A very good director, very flexible, when it comes to creating characters. We created the character of Gorilla together in that amazing film. And when I tell you that character was so insane and it was amazing, playing him and just, forgetting myself and just be this character. And when the movie premiered, Zambians came and to see the film in the cinemas. They were so happy to see the character. And I remember people, calling me, sending me messages, telling me how wonderful, the character was. And I remember I met somebody else who had seen the movie, and when they saw me, they were like, that character you played in that film was very different, because I didn't know that it was actually a Zambian who played that character. I was so amazed, when I created the character of Gorilla in Zuza. I wanted to be different from other characters that I've played. And so I opted to play this character and change its accent. I chose the east part of Africa. That's where I got the character for Gorilla. And so when people saw it, they didn't realize that it was actually a Zambian, who played the character. So when they came up to me, they told me that they enjoyed the character, they felt it was very different and it moved them. I was so humbled. You know, when we play these characters in films, what we aim for is for people to be moved beyond entertainment. And when they love this character, when they are moved, it just, makes you happy as an actor. So working on Zuza, it was a very, very, very amazing experience working with other actors, like Nicholas, Sarkoz Gwanipa, Alfred, and all the other amazing actors who were in the film. It was beautiful, and I loved that Zambians enjoyed that film and they watched it and they loved it because it was Zambian. So the experience on Zuza was, pretty amazing.
Well, I must say your performance in Zuza was really amazing, and one of the movies that I love. I've not really gotten a chance to see it, but from the highlights that I've seen, I think you also put up an amazing performance in Service to Heart. This movie actually got a number of nominations and various awards locally and internationally. Can you share with us also your experience working on that particular movie?
So, Service to Heart. Service to Heart was also an amazing film to be part of. I remember when I first read the script for Service to Heart, I was moved. And I really, really wanted to be part of it because it's a movie that takes people on an experience, And when I was starting out as an actor, I wanted to be part of films that go beyond entertainment, films that will move people and films that will change, their thought process. So being part of Service to Heart was life-changing. I read the character of Yalo, the character that I played, who was the uncle to the little girl Hart, the little girl who was also amazing in the film. And then actors like Hilda Nangoi, Blessings Luisha, and Kondo and Elliot Mtonga, and also not forgetting Skella. These were amazing actors. When you see them in Service to Heart, you also, going to be moved by what they did. So Service to Heart is that type of film that when you're part of it, it goes with you. And that character of Yalo that I played in that movie really opened up places in myself that I didn't know existed. And Paul Eswilo, the director and writer of this film, I call him the genius. I call him the Osman Sembene of Zambia. He's one of those directors who is so talented and so amazing. Just working with him, creating this film with him, just felt, you feel so much gratitude, that you have in your lifetime. You can be part of a film and you can be part of something that is working on. Seeing Service to Heart being appreciated everywhere, in these different film festivals. I mean, it caught about 9 nominations at the Kaduna Film Festival and also other film festivals that it screened on. And you see the way it moves people when they see this film is just incredible. And it feels so humbling, to be part of such a great story, because Service to Heart is a Zambian story. It's a film that you're going to watch 50 years from now. Any Zambia, even when we're all dead, and a young Zambian filmmaker will still go to Service to Heart because it's a masterclass. It's a film that you learn something from it every time you watch it. It's not just about the story itself, but it's also about the cinematography, the production design of this film, the sound, of this. It's just so moving. It was a collaborative effort, where these young creatives came together and created this magic. And for me, as an actor, being part of it was so amazing, because that's all I wanted, when I was young, and I wanted to be part of stories like this. And so it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And creating the character of Yalo taught me a lot about life. It taught me a lot about myself. It taught me so much about family and the values of loyalty, of respect, of love, of taking care of the people that you love. It was a character that changed me, not just as an actor, but as a human being. So I'm really grateful that I had an opportunity to be part of Service to Heart.
All right, now before I let you go, Dixon, there's definitely someone who is watching this and wants to be like you, wants to be in one of Zambia's best production and just wants to learn how it is to be in the movie industry. Just give us some insights to the wannabe movie star in Zambia.
My encouragement to the young actors: if you want to be part of this journey, if you want to be part of this creative industry, and you say you want to be an actor, the first thing that I will tell you is you need to love it. You need to love screen acting, and you need to do whatever you can to develop your craft as an actor, because it's not just about being on TV. It's about loving this and understanding what this whole thing is all about. I mean, playing these characters, being different people, it's more than us. Acting is a profession that has been there for 200 years, and there are a lot of actors who have been doing this for so many years. You can learn from them. There's so many films that you can watch that have been made, and you can see some amazing performances that have been created over the years. I mean, when I started, I really wanted to find out where this whole thing, this thing called acting started from. And I remember I watched different films, I read different books. Zambia does not have universities or college that teach screen acting. So it's something that you need to do yourself. You need to learn yourself, read books, find out about great acting teachers, like Stanislavski or Stella Adler, Uta Hagen, Larry Moss. Read their books. Just try to find out what this whole thing is. And the other thing is that has helped me a lot throughout the years is also reading, screenplays, or reading just plays written by Shakespeare or Chekhov, such kind of stuff. And what you need to do is just you keep rehearsing them in your house, while you're walking. You try to be these characters in your room. You just try to perfect your craft, because it's not just about being on TV, being famous. It's a different journey. I'm telling you, it's a journey that's going to teach you a lot about life as well, because being an actor is you, being an observer of the world, being an observer of everything, being an observer of mankind. So being an actor, it just gives you that experience, to experience life on a different level. Watch great actors. For me, I have watched a lot of films, from the 20s, films that were created in America, from the 20s, and I've watched different actors that have really, really changed my perspective on what acting really is. I'm talking about actors like Clark Gable, those actors that played characters beyond, what we think acting is. Actors like Spencer Tracy, Sidney Poitier. Those are some of the actors, that moved me. And I remember when I watched Marlon Brando. I think it was one of the best actors, of his time. Marlon Brando, James Dean, and then also the 70s. The 70s is just one of that time where you find good actors that really played characters that changed the way I looked at acting forever. Like Dustin Hoffman, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Gene Hackman, those type. And then you go forward to finding out these other actors, like the Denzel Washingtons or Will Smith. They're also the actors that you need to check out. Be a lover of film, be a lover of cinema. Check out different films from different parts of the world. Just be there, and love it, and nothing else will stop you. I know it's a little bit of a challenge being an actor in Zambia, but if you love it so much and you really want to do it, then you're going to do it. I remember when I was starting out, telling somebody that I wanted to be an actor at 14 years old, and they're telling me you can't be an actor. It's not necessarily a profession. Be a doctor, be a lawyer, be something else. Don't be an actor. But even though I didn't know you know, like how it's going to happen for me. Even up to now, I'm still trying to find a way to figure this thing out, to figure this dream out. But it's still the music that I hear within my heart, and it's the music that I keep following every day. And I have this dream, you know, of wanting to be part of stories that are larger than life, stories that will move people. And because I love this thing called make-believe, because I love, you know, this thing called screen acting, I keep on moving every day. And by moving over the years, I found people who helped me, you know, be the actor that I want to be. So you're going to find those people as well as you go along in your life. But one important thing, if you really want to be an actor and you feel it inside of yourself that you want, this is what you want to do, then start doing it. Don't wait for anybody to tell you that you're ready. Just start doing it. This is what you feel, this is what you want to do with your life, and you have the right to follow that music that lives inside of you.
All right, thank you so much, Dixon, for your time, and we hope to see you again in another production that you'll possibly be working on, and looking forward to hearing from you again on What's Popping as you give us amazing content and amazing movies, and looking forward to seeing you win great awards, and all the best to you.